You know, the internet is just packed with these little fragments. You see them all the time. Tweets, comments, weird little clips that feel like total pure gibberish. But what if I told you that the most confusing pieces of digital nonsense could actually teach us how to make sense of everything else? Well, today we're going to crack a case that, at first glance, looks absolutely impossible.
Okay, look at this. This is our mystery, and this is a real, completely unaltered string of text that was pulled directly from the wilds of the internet. It reads like a computer just sneezed out a bunch of random words. Buy TV, come the bee, stop huh, for. Good, bottom, awesome. I mean, it is bizarre, it is confusing, and it seems to mean absolutely nothing at all.
So, what do you think this could possibly be? A secret code? Maybe a failed AI experiment? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out. Think of this whole thing as a little digital detective story. We've got our piece of evidence, and together we are going to follow the clues until we solve this puzzle.
So, first things first, we've got to start our investigation by just looking at the puzzle in its raw, completely baffling state. Because right now, without any other information to go on, we're totally lost. You know, our brains are basically pattern-finding machines, right? But when we look at a phrase like this in a total vacuum, we've got nothing to work with. There's no grammar, no logical flow, nothing. It's kind of like finding a single unmarked gear on the sidewalk. You know it belongs to something, but you have absolutely no idea what. So how do we solve this thing? Well, the number one rule of digital detective work is that nothing, and I mean nothing, exists in a vacuum. The key to any online puzzle isn't just the content itself, it's all about the context. So we need to find some clues. And boom, here is our very first lead. This text comes from an auto-generated YouTube transcript. Now, what's really interesting here is that this immediately gives us a whole new possibility. See, YouTube's transcription software is pretty good, but it is far from perfect. It can mishear words, especially if there's background noise or weird speech patterns. So what we thought was random gibberish just became a potential transcription error. See the difference? Okay, clue number 2. The name of the YouTube channel is Dumbasaurz. Now, this is a fantastic clue. The name itself, it's a play on dinosaur and, dumb. It signals that we are probably not dealing with a serious documentary or some heavy political debate. The tone is almost certainly going to be playful, silly, maybe even satirical. And that brings us to our final clue before the big reveal. The video itself is categorized as animation comedy. This changes everything. We now know, for a fact, we're looking at a transcript from a cartoon that is meant to be funny. So our expectations have totally shifted from trying to find some serious, profound meaning to simply looking for a joke. So with these 3 clues, a YouTube transcript, a silly channel name, and a comedy genre, we have enough information to find our Rosetta Stone. We're looking for that one single piece of information that's going to act as a thematic anchor, making all those other nonsensical pieces just click right into place. And here it is. The key that unlocks this entire puzzle is the title of the video itself. It is the ultimate piece of context we were missing this whole time. Before toilets became smart. Suddenly, we have a theme, a very specific, very bizarre theme: toilets. Everything we're about to read is in some way related to the topic of smart toilets, or maybe the lack of them. This is the moment our investigation just breaks wide open. And this slide just illustrates that shift perfectly. Just look at the phrase, good, bottom, awesome. Without any context, it's just meaningless word salad. But now, with the theme of smart toilets rattling around in our heads, it's instantly recognizable as a comedic punchline. The exact same words have been totally transformed from nonsense into a coherent and, honestly, a pretty funny idea. So now, armed with our thematic anchor of toilets, we can actually go back and re-examine the original puzzle. Let's go ahead and translate the entire phrase piece by piece. All right, let's break it all down. Step 1, buy TV. So in a video about old-school pre-smart toilets, this is probably just a character saying goodbye to a TV, maybe one they have in their bathroom. It sets a kind of funny, old-fashioned scene. Next, step 2, come the bee stop. Now this is almost certainly a classic transcription error for come to the bidet stop. A machine might hear bee stop, but a human armed with context can easily figure that out. Step 3, simple enough, right? In a comedy animation, it's just a moment of confusion or a little bit of dialogue filler. Nothing too crazy there. And finally, step 4, good, bottom, awesome. And as we just saw, this is the clear punchline, the comedic payoff celebrating a really great toilet experience. And just like that, the mystery is solved. So let's get to the awesome bottom line of all this.
The lesson here was never really about toilets or even YouTube transcripts. It's about how we consume information in this digital age and the absolutely critical skill of finding context.
And that right there is the main takeaway. We are constantly just slammed with fragments of information online. And this little exercise shows that context isn't just helpful, it is the essential tool we have to use to build meaning out of all that potential chaos. Without it, we're really just staring at gibberish. So what are the actual skills we use today that you can use too? First, remember that context is key. It's what turns nonsense into sense. Second, assume there's a source. Every digital fragment comes from somewhere, and finding it is half the battle. Third, genre is your guide. Knowing if you're looking at a comedy versus a news report changes absolutely everything. And finally, remember that titles are anchors. They often give you the central theme that holds the whole thing together.
Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. I mean, we solved this one small puzzle today, but the internet is this endless, massive ocean of these fragments. By just pausing, looking for the clues, and demanding context, we give ourselves the power to actually understand what's truly being said. The only question is, are we willing to do the detective work?